So let's get into the products by first covering the shear category. Shearing is a specific cutting process that produces straight line, rough cuts, but is not designed for delicate work. Shearing is primarily used to cut sheet metal into smaller sizes in preparation for other processes. The shearing force is applied by two blades, one above and one below the sheet. The upper blade delivers a quick downward blow to the sheet metal that rests over the lower blade. The cutting blades are carefully and accurately ground for easy, clean, quick cuts which are free of burrs. The shear category is further broken down into different types. All perform the same basic function, cutting material, but each one offers different features or advantages for the end user. We'll cover some of these components in depth later, but a typical shear machine includes a table with support arms on the front and back to hold the sheet, stops or guides to secure the sheet, upper and lower straight edge blades, and a hold down to secure the material in place when cutting. This is showing the foot shear, so you'll see the foot pedal called out on the front of the machine. We also have a pneumatic shear, which has a different type of foot pedal.
Stomp shear, the kick shear, you know, it's been the staple of the sheet metal industry for many years. You know why? Because you just put the sheet metal in, whoop, get up here, and you stomp or you kick, or use your foot, depending on how you want to look at it. Now this is a 36-inch length. The Jet also makes a 52-inch if you want a bigger model. This is a little adjustable stop for angle, so I've set it perfectly at 45 degrees via my eyeball. Put it in there, snap it off. Now on the back you've got a gauge so you can move it back and forth, push a piece of metal in if you're going to be cutting a bunch, or if you just want to go ahead and shear it nice and square, shove it to the stop, bloop, plop it off. Now this is to do 16 gauge steel, 100 thou aluminum, 036 stainless, so it's got great capability. One of the things I like, it's got a dual-sided blade, so one side gets dull, flip it over later when you wear it out, and you got a lot longer life on your shear. And other than that, you're ready to go, shear it off. Tool, you gotta have it at your shop.
The shear is really the staple machine of the metal forming industry. Before you can bend or form any material, it has to be cut to the right size. Our blades are tool steel grade material. This material is well suited for cutting blades because of their distinctive hardness, resistance to abrasion, and their ability to hold a cutting edge. Our blade material also offers superior corrosion resistance versus the high carbon, high chromium blades used by our competitors. We have two models available. Both are 16 gauge machines but have different shearing lengths. The 36-inch length is great when space is an issue or when smaller cuts are required. The 52-inch length can handle larger cuts. The additional benefit is that standard sheets come in 48-inch size, so the 52-inch machine can easily cut a standard sheet.
I'm Sandy DeWald, the product manager for the metal forming category. With me today is Al McGann, who has over 30 years of experience in the metal forming industry.
Good morning.
We've talked a little bit about some of the products that we have in our line. We want to cover a few more features on this foot shear. First, we're going to talk about the back gauges and be able to set the back gauge and having the back stops to be able to repeat cuts over and over and over at the same length. The back gauges are 30 inches in length, and Al's going to demonstrate how the back stop works here on the unit.
Right. Basically, it slides back and forth. We have a ruler with measurements on both sides to set whatever dimension you want to cut. Here I'm going to set it at 6 inches. First we tighten the back. We have dials here for fine tuning. Once you get it cut or set, tighten them up and you're all set to cut. Then we come around the front. You have your piece of metal ready to cut. This is your back gauge is set for cutting multiple pieces the same dimension without wasting time. 1, 2. And go on, cut the same amount without having to measure each piece, which is a very nice feature. Here we have another guide for cutting angles. Set it to whatever angle you want. This is set about 45 degrees for cutting multiple pieces again on the same angle without having to measure each piece. There you go. This bar here is the front gauge. Works the same as the back gauge, only it's for feeding your sheets from the back. Say if you have a bench, I've worked in shops where you have benches and put several sheets up there. We're able to slide them through, cut them to the same dimension. You could cut them on an angle, whatever. Makes for a quick, fast, easy use. Save time, save material, save money. That's it.
No more stomping. Pneumatic shear. Look how beautiful that is. 52 inches long, 16 gauge steel capability. And let me show you how it works. So, yeah. Oh boy, I got one done there. Let me go ahead and do a second piece. Yep, that was pretty tough, wasn't it? Just cut a piece all the way across. Now you got a front gauge, which is nice, just in case you want to do some back feeding. If you have a full sheet out the back side, you can feed it up, lock this down, straight angled, however you like. You've also got kind of the common angle piece here. You can set degrees, go ahead and feed those in repeat angles, which is cool. You got a gauge over on the side, both American and metric. Got a back gauge, so if you want to feed through, pick up, you know, however many inches, goes all the way out to 32 inches on the back. Not only does it have a rough measurement, but a fine tuning, so that's really cool feature. Cast iron base, so it's good and strong like a bull. And another cool feature, the blade. The top blade doesn't have a severe angle. It's actually a real shallow angle. And what that does is keeps, when you shear off little pieces, keeps them from twisting up, which is really kind of a pain if you do a lot of thin strips. And I tell you, I've got one of these. Beautiful, beautiful machine.
The pneumatic shear offers a safer, easier, and quicker way to cut sheet metal. We saw the effort required to cut metal in the foot shear video. In a production setting when you're using the machine all day, a pneumatic shear can give you the same quick, clean cuts and save the physical wear and tear on the body. All of the great features found in our foot shear we also have in our pneumatic model, plus an enclosed cast iron frame and the low cutting angle on the blade. The portable slitting shear brings jet power to the work site and is perfect for cutting smaller pieces in the shop. Replaceable stainless steel blades are hardened and tempered for maximum life. It also has an adjustable hold-down clamp for securing material and can cut sheet steel, steel bars, and rods. Jet's compound leverage design provides additional force when cutting material. If you notice, the blade is angled and open where it meets the base. This additional space makes it easier to cut steel bars and rods. We mentioned earlier the major players in the metal forming market. As we launch this new and improved metal forming line, naturally the question will come up on how our products match the competition. You'll hear me say this over and over, but our metal forming line is rock solid and loaded with features. If you were to look just at specs, you'll notice we match our competition in every category. Of course, That's not where we stopped with Jet. We've also included features that surpass our competition. For instance, our foot shear is available in different lengths with tool steel grade blades and a two-way upper blade. On the pneumatic shear, we offer all of the great features found on our foot shear, along with a completely enclosed cast iron frame, low cutting angle blade, tool steel grade blades, and precision machining of the bed and beam for accurate cuts. We're going to be covering a lot of information in this training, so I always like to include a slide that basically says, if you remember nothing else, remember these points. The key points for shears is that they are the staple machine for metal forming. You have to cut it before you can shape it. Jet shears are durable, quality machines with a range of capabilities, plus extra features that truly benefit the end user.